come out. You know what I mean? Everybody else come out. I'm not with the Sting, man, but I hope that, you know, he get that straightened out and he get back to focus on his family and his career. Family first and then career second. But I just wish both his ex-girl, his kid's mother, you know what I mean, can get things together. And
At that brand new video here, you can see him walking out of the side of TGK using his t-shirt to cover his head, surrounded by correctional officers and what is presumed to be his manager. Now, although we asked him questions about these allegations, he did not say anything to us as he walked out. He just went immediately into the SUV waiting for him on.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis is back in the spotlight, but not for his performances in the ring. This time, the undefeated lightweight champion is dealing with serious issues outside boxing that could be much harder to overcome. Known as one of the sport's most talented and exciting fighters, his name is now caught up in legal problems, growing criticism, and questions about his future. While he has built an impressive record with 30 wins and titles across 3 weight divisions, his actions beyond the ring are now raising concerns and putting his reputation at risk.
Allegedly hit an unidentified woman on the right side of her head with a closed hand slap. The report also says this strike caused a small abrasion to the inside of the woman's upper lip on the right side of her mouth. Eventually, we will find out the identity of this woman, and this woman is the mother of Davis's child. Now, Davis, whose nickname is Tank, he has a 27-0 record with 25 knockouts, and he has been trained.
At 30 years old, Gervonta "Tank" Davis was arrested on July 11, 2025, in Miami Beach on a domestic battery charge linked to an alleged incident on June 15, Father's Day, in Doral, Florida. Reports claim that during a heated argument, he struck his ex-girlfriend in the back of the head and slapped her in front of her mother, leaving her with a visible injury to her lip. The woman's mother recorded the encounter and later handed the footage to police, and that video is now a key part of the case prosecutors are building against him. This latest arrest comes less than 2 years after Gervonta "Tank" Davis avoided jail in a 2020 hit-and-run case by taking a plea deal that included 90 days of house arrest and 200 hours of community service. It also follows earlier domestic violence allegations that were later dropped or settled, but together they continue to raise serious concerns. Despite being one of boxing's biggest stars, known for selling out arenas and headlining major pay-per-view events, his actions outside the ring are starting to overshadow his success and put everything he has achieved at risk.
In Alexis, the charge he is facing is battery with domestic. And you mentioned this was an ex-girlfriend, but it is also the mother of his children, that according to police. Let's show you who we're talking about here. You were looking at the mugshot of professional and well-known boxer, 30-year-old Gervonta "Tank" Davis. He was arrested by Miami Beach police early this morning on a warrant for his arrest following an alleged incident that happened in June on Father's Day. In the arrest report we obtained, Davis is accused of striking and slapping the mother of his children in the face, causing injuries to her lip.
The timing of this arrest couldn't be worse, as Gervonta "Tank" Davis was already facing pressure to bounce back after his controversial March 1, 2025 draw against Lamont Roach Jr., a result that sparked major debate in the boxing world. In that fight, Davis was dropped in the 7th round and looked off his game, leading many to question whether issues outside the ring were starting to affect his performance. A rematch was reportedly being planned for late summer, with both sides in talks to make it happen, but now everything is uncertain and that opportunity could slip away quickly.
Yeah, man, I just want to say to let the people know that this judge is crazy, bro. This judge she locked me up because basically I bought a property. I did everything in my power to listen to my lawyers.
Adding to the situation, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has remained silent since his arrest, which has only increased concern among the public. After being released on just $10 bail on July 11th, he walked out of Miami-Dade County Jail surrounded by officers, covering his face and ignoring questions from reporters. That image of him staying hidden and saying nothing quickly drew criticism online, with fans, analysts, and even some of his supporters questioning whether he has truly learned from his past legal troubles.
I'm the kind of person who thinks that you have to look at both sides of the story, right? It's not always men are abusive, period. What is the woman doing to cause this abuse? And obviously abuse is never okay, but let's just look at what he has to say to defend himself. Now, I'm so sorry for the graphic picture. I'm just going to show it really quick, but he says that she put poop on his toothbrush and spit on his face. Now again, abuse is never okay, but he sounds like a victim as well. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Should he?
While Gervonta "Tank" Davis has stayed quiet, The voice people are looking toward is Calvin Ford, his longtime trainer and father figure who has guided him for years. A Baltimore native who once served time in federal prison before changing his life to mentor young people, Ford has been by Davis's side since his early days as a talented but troubled teenager. He has supported him through championship wins, kept him in check during tough moments, and helped shape him into one of boxing's most dangerous southpaws. Although Ford hasn't spoken publicly about this latest arrest, his past stance on personal responsibility outside the ring gives a strong idea of how he likely feels right now.
It's going to be a transfer for Parkland. It's pinging at... I need help, please. I'm trying to go home. I have my baby in the car and he attacked me in front of the kids.
Okay, ma'am, repeat the address.
Messing up my tires.
Ma'am.
I need help, please.
Ma'am, repeat the address. I need to send units to you. I need the address.
Please help me. He's gonna kill me.
Ma'am, what's the address?
Please.
I can't send.
In a 2022 interview after another domestic incident involving Gervonta "Tank" Davis, which was later dismissed, Calvin Ford made it clear he wasn't going to make excuses for him. He stressed that everyone has to answer for their actions, saying you can't avoid responsibility just because you're a fighter, and reminding Davis that boxing can give him everything but can also take it all away if he doesn't mature as a man. That message wasn't just for the public, it was a direct warning, and it's something Ford has been repeating to him for years.
But look for him to be out face first in 4.
Mr. Frazier.
No, I gotta agree with Luther. You ever hear of Thugalicious? Those are women who love thugs. They love to get choked, beat, kicked, and they keep going back. And that's what it is. Yeah,
He didn't do anything. Stop. We're not going to. He didn't do anything.
Yeah, he's innocent. Tank is innocent.
When Gervonta "Tank" Davis skipped training camp before his fight with Lamont Roach Jr. earlier this year, Calvin Ford didn't hide his frustration and even stayed out of his corner that night, later confirming he hadn't trained him at all. After the fight, Ford made it clear they had been through similar issues before, but said there comes a time when you have to decide whether you want to be remembered for your success or for the damage you caused. He also warned that boxing won't wait forever, adding that he loves Davis like a son, but real love means knowing when to speak up and say enough is enough, hoping this would be the moment that finally pushes him to change.
Why didn't you bring me out a passport? You know, I mean, I asked to see your daughter. You said no. I don't want her to see the police.
I showed you.
You did, but I wanted to see her, and now I'm gonna have to talk to her because she said that when you hit her, it was in front of her, the baby, the 4-year-old.
Despite everything Gervonta "Tank" Davis has achieved, winning titles in 3 weight classes, headlining major pay-per-view events, and scoring big knockouts over Leo Santa Cruz, Rolando Romero, and Ryan Garcia, his success is now being overshadowed by ongoing legal issues that are starting to carry real consequences. Promoters are becoming cautious, sponsors have gone quiet, and fans are growing uneasy about his future. A potential exhibition fight with Jake Paul that was being talked about for late 2025 now seems unlikely, as Paul has already suggested he may walk away if the situation doesn't improve, and even Davis's own team has stayed silent since the arrest. Within boxing circles, many believe he may need to step away from the sport for some time, whether by choice or because of legal requirements, as he could be facing outcomes like probation, mandatory counseling, or even jail time, especially since Florida authorities may push for a tougher penalty due to his past record.
His legacy, the kind of fighter, he's been touted to be and where he's at now, and the impact things like this have on your career.
Well, if you were to compare the arrest rate over the years for prominent boxers with the arrest rate for the average American citizen or citizen of the world, you'll find that the boxers tend to be arrested at a higher rate than...
On the boxing side, the situation is just as uncertain, with the rematch against Lamont Roach Jr. now likely pushed back. Roach's team is reportedly frustrated and may start looking at other opponents while Davis deals with his legal issues. That could cost him valuable momentum and even affect his mandatory position in the WBA super featherweight rankings. A comeback in 2025 now looks less likely unless the charges are quickly dismissed or resolved through a favorable deal. At the same time, the rest of the division is moving forward, with fighters like Shakur Stevenson, Vasyl Lomachenko, and Devin Haney lining up big fights for the second half of 2025. Once seen as the main star of the division, Davis is now at risk of becoming a question mark in a weight class that continues to move on without him.
He ended up getting arrested for allegedly slapping Vanessa during a custody exchange way on Father's Day, bro.
Now Vanessa's mom actually ran outside and recorded part of the incident. The video doesn't show the slap itself, but it does show Gervonta throwing some little box at her or something like that.
As time passes since Gervonta Tank Davis's arrest, the impact is spreading beyond just headlines and into the business side of boxing. While the case moves forward in Florida, subtle but clear changes are happening behind the scenes. Promoters are slowing down plans, matchmakers who once prioritized Davis are quietly moving his name down their lists, and sponsorship talks have reportedly been paused or put on hold. Even broadcasters and streaming platforms that once relied on his pay-per-view appeal are now hesitant to commit without more clarity on his legal situation. Previous backing from Showtime is said to have cooled as executives reassess risk and public perception, while other streaming services have also stepped back for now. There's been no official statement, but the lack of noise around him is becoming more noticeable, and so far, no network has confirmed interest in airing any Davis fight, including the planned Roach rematch.
By Miami Beach police early this morning on a warrant for his arrest following an alleged incident that happened in June on Father's Day. In the arrest report we obtained, it states Davis arrived to pick up his children from his ex-girlfriend's Doral home and during that process struck her in the back of the head. An investigator said he then proceeded to slap her on the right side of the face, resulting in a minor laceration to the inner area of her lip. Police said the victim was treated at Baptist Hospital where officers responded, but Davis was nowhere to be found.
This growing silence could signal a shift in how the boxing industry handles its biggest stars. In the past, Gervonta Tank Davis's talent often helped him avoid lasting consequences, but that protection now appears to be fading. With each day that passes without a public statement, uncertainty continues to build, not only about whether he will fight again this year, but also about whether major figures in the sport are still willing to attach their names to him. The reaction on the ground is also changing, as conversations in gyms across Baltimore and Miami, where he was once proudly seen as a hometown success story, are now taking on a very different tone.
With domestic, and you mentioned this was an ex-girlfriend, but it is also the mother of his children, that according to police. Let's show you who we're talking about here. You were looking at the mugshot of professional and well-known boxer, 30-year-old Gervonta Tank Davis. He was arrested by Miami Beach police early this morning on a warrant for his arrest following an alleged incident that happened in June on Father's Day. In the arrest report we obtained, Davis is accused of striking and slapping the mother of his children in the face, causing injuries to her lip as he arrived to pick up his kids from her Doral home.
Sparring partners, local trainers, and amateur fighters are now speaking about Gervonta Tank Davis with more caution. Some still hope he can turn things around, others feel disappointed, and many say they are simply tired of the repeated issues. The overall feeling is not anger, but frustration and fatigue. One Miami-based trainer put it plainly, saying respect can't be learned inside the ring, and if it's missing in life, the consequences eventually catch up in ways that go far beyond boxing. The concern now isn't just about this latest incident, but about the pattern behind it and what it may continue to cost Davis beyond just public support.
There was something in his eye and the referee allowed him to get that. So, yeah, Davis is one of those guys. He's a very good fighter, but a bit of a frustrating career. He's avoided some of the best fighters, and unfortunately, that rematch that Lamont Roach really, genuinely deserved, because he should have got his hand raised the first time, but there you go. So they were scheduled to have a rematch, and unfortunately...
One of the clearest signs of this shift is the sudden silence from brands that were once connected to Gervonta Tank Davis's image. Smaller apparel companies, energy drink sponsors, and even crypto-related partnerships that were previously linked to him have reportedly paused or ended their deals. These weren't major global corporations, but mid-sized lifestyle and sports brands that were drawn to his popularity and personality. Now, many of those collaborations are either suspended or completely gone, and the fighter who once appeared on posters in gyms across the country is slowly being removed from that space. At the same time, other fighters in and around his division are moving forward without waiting for him. Shakur Stevenson is pursuing a unification fight, Devin Haney is targeting international defenses, and rising lightweight talent Keyshawn Davis is building momentum of his own. Davis's absence isn't just leaving a gap anymore, it's creating opportunities for others, and in boxing, that's simply how the sport moves forward when someone steps aside.
Woman's upper lip, on the right side of her mouth. Eventually, we will find out the identity of this woman, and this woman is the mother of Davis's child. Now, Davis, whose nickname is Tank, he has a 27-0 record with 25 knockouts, and he has been training for a January 7th fight in D.C. against Hector Luis Garcia. All reports that I've seen that fight will still take place. This has been the Kendrick Sports Social 60-second report. I'm Kendrick. You all have a great rest of your Thursday. I'll see you on the other side. I'm out.
What's also become clear and hard to ignore is the shift in tone on social media. In the past, Gervonta Tank Davis's loyal fanbase would quickly defend him, often dismissing any accusations as unfair attacks or media bias. This time, however, that support feels more divided. On platforms like X and boxing forums, even longtime fans appear more uncertain. Many still want to see him return to the ring, but fewer are demanding instant forgiveness, and most now agree that something in his life needs to change. Reports that video footage exists from the alleged Father's Day incident have only added to the tension. While nothing has been released publicly, people close to the case suggest it could become a key factor in the legal outcome. Whether it is eventually shown or not, the idea that it exists has already influenced public opinion, and in a media-driven environment where visuals often matter more than legal arguments, Davis's silence is increasingly working against him.
From a little birdie, I heard Buddy home already.
And because Davis just bonded out of the Eternal Guilford Night Center just moments ago.
Hey, Devontae, what do you have to say about the charges against you?
Unfortunately, this is not the first time Davis had made headlines for his run-ins with the law involving domestic. I tried to speak with him back in 2022 as he bonded out of the Broward County Jail.
In addition, there are now rising questions about how this situation could affect other fighters tied to the same promotional group. Ul Heyman's PBC, which has long managed Gervonta Tank Davis's career, is reportedly under pressure as people debate whether he will continue to be featured on future events. Inside the organization, there are concerns that keeping Davis on upcoming fight cards could create complications with broadcasters and venue partners. According to sources familiar with the discussions, some scheduled events are already being adjusted to avoid backlash or public controversy. One hotel in Las Vegas is also said to have refused a full booking for an event connected to Davis even before the arrest was widely known.
Girlfriend said that he hit her and the kid or something. And then like a few days later, so it's all over the news, TMZ, domestic Gervonta Davis, right? And everyone sees that bad hit piece. And then she comes like 3-4 days later and is like, oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't true, I was in a bad place. And you're not gonna see, it's not gonna go as viral.
No, it doesn't, because I didn't hear about that.
Exactly, so now you have...
So let me tell you something right now, Bradley. The girls that come out and do that and they get proven, basically, the girls getting proven wrong and guilty, they deserve to go to...
In Baltimore, community groups that once highlighted Gervonta Tank Davis as a success story are now starting to pull back. Mentorship programs and charities that previously used his rise as an example of overcoming hardship are reconsidering how they present him. One local leader, speaking privately, said Davis had been removed from an upcoming fundraiser slideshow, not as a statement of judgment, but because it had become difficult to address his situation in a way suitable for younger audiences. While these changes may seem small on their own, together they show a broader shift in how organizations are preparing for the possibility that the case could continue or worsen. Although no court decision has been made, public opinion is already forming its own judgment, and that perception is increasingly shaping his reputation and future.
Police said they was called to his baby mama house on Father's Day due to Tank Williams that just stopped by to pick up the kids and left something that they want to see, man. The woman said Tank came over and as usual, he's an aggressive, threatening person.
In boxing history, comebacks are nothing new, but they usually come after a clear low point or resolution. What makes the situation around Gervonta Tank Davis different right now is that his situation hasn't reached a defined ending. Instead, it remains in a state of uncertainty, with ongoing legal matters, hesitation from the boxing industry, and no public communication from Davis himself. That uncertainty is causing more damage than a single defeat ever would. There is no confirmed plan for his return, and no clear roadmap for salvaging the rest of 2025 has been shared. Even some of his closest supporters in the media and influencer space, who once regularly boosted his highlights online, have gone quiet, and those usual reposts have largely stopped. For a fighter who once depended heavily on constant visibility and online attention, that drop in engagement is significant, and it reflects how quickly the spotlight has begun to shift elsewhere.
I have been covering suspects bonding out of jail here for several years. I can tell you that this is a first for me because as Davis was walking out of the Turner Guilford Night Center, he had 3 corrections officers surrounding him, not really allowing reporters to get close to him to ask him questions. That said, I did ask those questions as to his allegations. He is accused of striking his ex-girlfriend, the mother of his children. I asked him about those charges. He refused to answer our questions.
For Gervonta Tank Davis to rebuild his career, it will likely take more than just a not guilty verdict. He would need to show steady discipline and consistency, something critics say has been missing outside the ring in recent years. If the division continues to move on, sponsors stay away, and opportunities shrink, then his main remaining strength becomes clarity and communication, but so far, that hasn't come. There have been no clear updates or explanations shared with fans, promoters, or even close supporters. In the coming weeks, there may be new legal developments, statements, or evidence, but even without those, his path forward is becoming more limited. The lightweight division, which once revolved heavily around him, is now continuing without him, and the longer that continues, the harder it may be for him to return to the center of it.